15 Things You Didn't Know About Giuseppe Zanotti. Welcome to Alux.com, the place where future billionaires come to get inspired. Hello Aluxers, and welcome back to our channel. Since we know that luxury is one of those things that really inspires you, today we picked a real gem to shine the spotlight on. Today is all about shoe designer Giuseppe Zanotti. Born April 17, 1957, in San Mauro Pascoli, a small village near Rimini, and growing up in a place that is famous for its shoemaking tradition, it seems only fair for Giuseppe to have it in his blood. Mysterious as he is, he never reveals much about his family, which is also difficult to track, but we can only assume that whatever his parents did, it was motivational enough to get him to let his talent flow. If you're new here, welcome. Be sure to subscribe and follow us on Instagram at Alux. One thing we know for sure though, the sexy heels and gold-plated sneakers he makes find their way to the red carpet just as easily as they find their way to the streets. So, now it's time to start revealing those 15 things you didn't know about Giuseppe Zanotti. Number 1. He owes his fascination for shoes to his mother. In an interview he gave in 2014, mysterious Giuseppe spoke about what he calls his obsession with shoes. He recalled being about 9 years old when he saw his mother's gray stilettos that were pointy with a hole and how they made a strong impression on him. Zanotti sees the shape of the shoes to resemble a woman's body. The man has a powerful imagination. This led him to start designing shoes shortly after, especially since he was surrounded by shoe artisans. We all have to agree, he's one of those folks who just pursued their dreams and made it happen. Number 2. He was not the conformist type. Rebellious is certainly a word that comes to mind when you learn that just at the age of 10, Giuseppe described himself as an enemy of the professor, enemy of the school, enemy of the state, enemy of the family, enemy of the traffic lights, enemy of the rules, and of discipline. His pursuit of anarchy only became stronger as he grew older, therefore he kept on doing things oppositely to what the norm said. Whether it was just teenage rebellion and angst, or something that Zanotti still hides within him, we may never know, but we'll try to find out some more. Number 3. Giuseppe Zanotti was a DJ for a while. In the early 1980s, Zanotti was a fiery DJ, and it doesn't come as a surprise that he patronized eclectic and fashionable night spots. In spite of having given it up professionally in order to focus on shoe design, he sometimes still plays around. In an interview, he once said he does have the proper headphones and a DJ app. He also explained that he still DJs at parties, but very rarely. If DJing used to help him unwind back in the day, nowadays he prefers taking long trips on his boat in order to decompress. The further away from everyone, the easier it is for him to relax. Number 4. He launched his first collection in 1994. Giuseppe Zanotti entered the fashion industry working as a freelance designer back in the late 80s, but didn't launch his first signature collection until 1994 in New York. Buyers welcomed it immediately and showed interest and trust in the novice designer, who placed jewels on shoes like no one else before him. The first luxury retailers to pick up the collection were Saks Fifth Avenue, Neiman Marcus, and Barney's New York, thus his success being almost guaranteed. Popularity came in shortly after, which reflected in the company's growth. It had started with a handful of employees, but soon had more than 300 expert specialists producing elegant footwear. Number 5. Rumor has it his net worth is $500 million. Private as he is, Zanotti likes to keep his income and expenses far, far away from the eyes of the public. However, our sources estimate his net worth is, yeah, you heard well, $500 million. Honestly now, you wouldn't expect someone whose creations make it up to the top of the most expensive footwear items just to fool around with $1 or $2. For example, think about the Giuseppe Zanotti JLo 110 crystal-embellished suede lace-up booties that cost $2,995. Yeah, that's just one item, and yeah, that's the league he plays in. Number 6. He got dissed by Nicki Minaj. The story goes back to many years ago, when Zanotti told Minaj that she was the inspiration for a sneaker design that he had in mind. And so he did. He named no less than 23 pairs of sneakers that cost up to $2,000 each after the rapper. The problem was, when Nicki Minaj tried to contact him, the company's PR didn't even take her call. All this after Zanotti worked on a capsule collection with Jennifer Lopez. And so the Anaconda Queen decided to slam him on Twitter. You only need to look up hashtag Giuseppe What's Good on Twitter to reveal the rant. Number 7. He spoke out about discrimination based on sexual orientation in the world of fashion. Zanotti explained that he had doubts about his potential and his value in Milan, as he was not considered a real designer because he was not gay. Thus, he developed serious low self-esteem problems, and it was only when he tried his luck in the United States that he started gaining some confidence. In spite of he and his designs being received amazingly all around the world, New York, Hong Kong, France, Russia, and so on, he still has a different approach when it comes to sales in Italy. In his own words, "In Italy, I now have 3 stores in Rome, 3 in Milan and Venice, but I never did go to a single event or opening in Italy. Never ever. I never met any customer, any clientele, no parties, no cocktails. Never." Number 8. He's got a shoe collection of about 9,000 pairs. When asked how many pairs of shoes he owned, Zanotti's first answer was not so many. Then he entered into details, explaining that he collected shoes and that nowadays he owns around 9,000 pairs of antique shoes. But then he said that, on a day-to-day basis, he only uses about 12 pairs. He said on several occasions that he was not a fan of men's shoes, that his fascination stuck with women's footwear. Anyways, he considers leaving his collection to a school later in his lifetime because he believes it would be helpful to students. Number 9. In spite of his success, he still struggles with his fear of judgment. Believe it or not, this very famous footwear designer is shy and a bit of a loner. Always has been, probably always will be. He doesn't want to be judged, especially not by Italians. He's aware of humanity's judgmental nature, and that makes him feel uncomfortable. In his own words, "From the beginning, everyone pushed me. My team would tell me, do this event, do that event. I created a lot of excuses. I'm sick, I'm not feeling well." This was his way of escaping being judged, even when being judged meant people telling him that they loved him. Number 10. Giuseppe Zanotti worked with Kanye West and admires him deeply. The two met at a charity event in Milan in 2009 and progressively got to the point where they started a collaboration. Zanotti described their paired creative process as good synergy, where each one of them taught the other something. The first result of their work was a pair of sandals studded with pearls and made in calfskin, which sold for around $6,000. Afterwards, they designed cruel summer sandals, inspired by the music album Good. Zanotti admires West because he appreciates the way West comes forward to express himself in terms of fashion. Want to discover some more about Kanye's charms or learn some more about his life? Check out our 15 Things You Didn't Know About Kanye West video by clicking in the top right corner. Number 11. For him, there are no better shoes than those sculpted for women. Obsessed with women's shoes as he is, Giuseppe explained that a shoe is a woman, a beautiful, sure of her, flamboyant self, whose hips swing in that subtle sensuality. The way he makes analogies between women, sensuality, and shoes is almost poetic. For example, in an interview with Elle, he said, "In the end, there's not much difference between a brassiere and a pair of shoes. Behind both is a woman who wants to feel alive and beautiful." This explains why most of Zanotti's creations are sandals. He likes the look of a nude foot adorned by jewels. Number 12. He's not a fan of Christmas. This is probably due to his introversion and preference for aloneness. He doesn't like Christmas Day or December 31st either, because those days are when happiness is necessary. Therefore, it ends up being imposed. This is why he doesn't like anniversaries either. He explained, "I'm happy, for example, when there's rain. Everyone say, 'Oh, this day is so sad and rainy.' I don't like to do the same things they're doing. I'm still a rebel inside. But of course, I do love sunny days. Life is beautiful. We need to find another angle to see it." Number 13. Beyonce herself paired with Zanotti for a shoe collaboration. It's a well-known fact that Queen Bee is in love with Zanotti's designs. After all, she even chose to wear his creations at her wedding. However, we know how much she loves to go beyond the imaginable. This is precisely what she did when she decided to work with him in order to create one lust-worthy high heel based on her 7-Eleven vision. Zanotti himself explained that she's incredibly talented and she's an amazing dancer. She's complete. Few are like Beyonce. Since the beginning, she was convinced the ultra-thick platform stiletto they were conspiring for was going to be a one-of-a-kind release. Number 14. Even his father's ice cream parlor served as a source of inspiration. One may say you can identify an artist by his sense of versatility. If we think about that, we can all agree that Zanotti is one of a kind. In love with music, with craftsmanship, with femininity, he is recognizable but always different. But did you know that flavors also inspired him? Pistachio, to be more specific. Back when he was younger, Zanotti didn't find pleasure in common things, but was so taken by this one flavor that inspired him to design the heel of one of his shoes to look like an ice cream cone. Number 15. He believes Africa is a powerhouse. When asked about what the African market meant to him, Giuseppe Zanotti explained that he loved the natural, spontaneous spirit of the continent. He believes that these elements are to be found in his creations, and this is why the African American community adores him. In return, he admits to being fascinated with their culture. Furthermore, he sees Africa as a bomb of positive growth and possibilities, waiting to go off at any second now. This is why he keeps on expanding his business there. Well, money makes the world go round, right? We hope you got at least a little inspired today, dear Aluxers, and thanks for spending some time with us today. Before we go, we're curious. What would you like to ask Giuseppe Zanotti if you had the chance to meet him? Let us know in the comments below. Still here? Because our bonus fact is... Number 16. He described Zayn Malik as strange. Very recently, Zanotti paired with pop star Zayn Malik in order to create some awesome shoes. As the two worked together, Zanotti discovered how strange and peculiar Malik was. He revealed that, and you wouldn't see this coming, that Zayn is very shy and sensitive. The designer admitted that the two had several common points, and that the collaboration with Zayn proved him once again that celebrities, in spite of being expected to always be sparkling and untouchable, remain human beings. Thank you for spending some time with us, Aluxers. Make sure to like and subscribe so you never miss another video. We also handpicked these videos, which we recommend you watch next. Thank you for being an Aluxer, and we'll see you back tomorrow.